Hello and welcome to RISE Podcast. I'm your host, Magdalena, and I'm thrilled to be here with you today. The RISE project is all about fostering inclusive and impactful research practices, and that's exactly the spirit we're bringing into this episode. Now, I'll admit, I'm still pretty new to the world of citizen science, but that's what makes today's conversation so exciting. If you ever wondered how everyday people, no lab coat or PhD required, can contribute to real scientific research, you're going to love what's coming up. Joining me today is Simona Cerato, who works with the European Citizen Science Association and at the ECS project, a European-founded project committed to widen and strengthen the citizen science community in Europe and push modern science towards open science. It includes the EU Citizen Science Platform and the ECS Academy, your gateway to training in citizen science. I'm so excited to collaborate with ECS on this episode. Simona is here to guide us through this fascinating and accessible world where science is open to everyone. Simona, thank you so much for joining us today.
Magda, thank you for having me. I'm really very happy to be here and to contribute to this episode of the RISE podcast. So let's start, Magda.
Okay, so before we dive in, could you briefly tell our listeners a bit about yourself and your role in EXA?
Yes, sure. I am an ex-physicist. I studied physics and did some research in astrophysics for the first part of my professional career. Then I moved to public engagement, science communication, or whatever you want to call this. And I worked in this field for more than 30 years, really trying to engage with people and make science as open as possible to the widest audience. I worked a lot with children. I like to work with children and young people in general, and I always try to put science at the centers of people's lives and to highlight the role of women in science. In the last 3 years, I've been working at EXA as a communication officer and trying to disseminate and spread the word about citizen science and contributing to different European projects. And now I'm here with you.
Thank you so much. As someone who's new to citizen science, I'm thrilled to have you here. Would we please start by explaining what citizen science actually is in a way that would make sense to complete beginners?
Yes, let's start. It's not really easy to define citizen science. It's a very wide and broad field, but in principle, at its core, citizen science is a research approach that is open to everyone. It's a collaboration between professional scientists and everybody else. It is when the member of the public, people without any formal scientific training, individuals, schools, public libraries, associations, activists, whoever, participate actively in scientific research. And this participation can take many, many different forms and can happen at very many different levels. From the basic level of data collection, observing and taking photos of flowers or counting birds, or something higher to where you can help really scientists to, for example, classifying galaxies or molecules with your computer, or measure rainfall, or even analyze complex data set, or at the highest possible level, really shape a new research project defining also the research question. So really, this is all possible stage of research, and it depends on you, who you are, what are you interested, how much time do you have, at what level you want to step in. Citizen science really deals with all fields of research, even though the name, but we will come back to the name, can be a bit misleading. So, of course, natural sciences, but social science and any other discipline based on some kind of scientific methods. So the key is that you are contributing to real science and that you generate, together with scientists, new knowledge. So let's go back to the name, Citizen Science. Citizen Science is a good brand. People recognize it and use it for many years now, but can be misleading. And there is a very interesting conversation going on at international level on the many names of citizen science. But let's start with science. So many people are a bit put off by the name science because they think about the white coats, they think about labs, they think about complicated issues and formula, and they may think, okay, this is not for me. Science is too difficult. It's not for me. Or they connect science with something that is very traditional, so natural science, physics, chemistry, biology, and so on. But science is much more, and it is much more open. The best possible present definition of science is the one defined by the British Council, and it's like that. I read it, okay? Science is the pursuit of an application of knowledge and understanding of the natural and social world following a systematic methodology based on evidence. So it has to do with everything, not only the typical natural world, and it is not the knowledge in itself, but the process to get knowledge, okay? So as such, science concerns all of us, just because we live on this planet, no matter whether we are scientists or not. So science is broader than we normally think. And also the term citizen is not so easy to grasp and to define because it depends on the definition of citizens. Who can be considered citizens and therefore entitled to be included in the citizen science definition and approach? Am I a citizen? Is you marked as citizens? Maybe yes and maybe no. It depends where you live, who you are, and what are the conditions of the environment you live in. For example, I am Italian. I have an Italian passport. And when I'm in Italy, and in general in Europe, I feel part of this community. But in many countries, the word citizens is only connected to holding the country passport. So if I am in Germany, in this definition that is more strict, I would not be a citizen. Would I be still entitled to participate in a citizen science project? Probably yes, because for citizen science, as it is an open approach, everybody is welcome, no matter who you are, in principle. So the word citizen is very complicated and not so easy to define. And together with science, it is even more complicated. Then there is the question, the issue of translation. So in many languages, when you translate citizens, for example, in French, Spanish, Italian, and other languages that have the difference between male and female, if you translate citizens, you immediately face the difficulties. How can I be inclusive? How can I include everybody in the word citizen? For example, if I translate it in Italian, citizens become cittadino, and this includes only the male population. I should include, if I want to include also the other part of the population, if I want to include also by women, I should say cittadino and cittadine. But in this case, all the person in between that do not recognize in this two gender would not be included. So even the translation is very difficult. This is why in many places they use other names like community science, participative science, participative research, and so on. But to conclude, what makes citizen science really special, in principle, is that it is a real and authentic collaboration. Scientists get help collecting or analyzing data when they can't do it alone, because they need a lot of people, they need a lot of data, they need a lot of places to collect data, for example. And most importantly, they can get a completely different and new insights and perspectives on their own field, because you have included the eyes of other people with a completely different needs, expectation, and vision of the world. And so they can get new ideas from the participants. And this shift the point of view and brings fresh air. It is like opening a window and you see something different. You see a landscape, you see the skies, you see the trees, and so on. And at the same time, participants get to learn about research and its methods firsthand. And at the same time, they can make meaningful contributions to it. And in the best cases, even shaping the research agenda. So there is a lot of potential in citizen science, and this is why we should push it forward.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much for this explanation. I feel like we should make a completely new episode just about the name of it, you know. It would be
could be
maybe not, but maybe not even more than one, I guess. A little bit like personal question. Can you please tell me what first drew you to citizen science and how you ended up working with EXA? Because EXA is not your first encounter with citizen science, as you said. So do you remember the specific moment on the project that made you realize the power of citizen participation?
Actually, when I started doing science and then science communication and public engagement, I always had this in mind, that to have people actively participating in science. And also my approach to public engagement was based on this principle. And so after in my last years as science communicators, in my previous job in Italy, I was also part of some citizen science project and try to include reluctant scientists into this new approach. Then, when the opportunities came to join EXA in Berlin, then I jumped into it. I'm very happy to have been part of this enterprise for the last 3 years. So, yeah, this is very exciting for me.
Wow, I'm very happy to hear that. So, okay, as far as I understand, citizen science, or whatever we decide to call it, let's stick to this term right now, is very popular in environmental sciences. Yet you can find many successful examples in other fields: social sciences, health sciences, physics, and astrophysics, as you already mentioned. How can citizen science be applied to the economy?
Very difficult question, Magda. And as I expected this question, I'm not an economist. Actually, I know nothing about economy. I made some investigation. But as I'm new to this field and yet very interested, I really invite all listeners to get ideas and proposals to apply citizen science to their field, in particular to the economy. Because the economy is really crucial for our lives and to shape the present and the future of our societies in this globally connected world. We can't do without it, okay? Economy is really fundamental. So why not merge in citizen science and economy? And as far as I understand, we can identify 3 main topics connecting citizen science and economy. I may be wrong, and I'm open to suggestion to learn more. The first, I think that economic consideration and financial consideration receive little attention amongst the citizen science community, especially when you set up a new project, a new initiative. But they are key for the development and the success of this initiative. For example, feasibility, scalability, sustainability issues. And this project depends on this. So this is something where economists could contribute and become part of this community. then citizen science can have a real impact on the economy, changing the research approach, because citizen science at least seems to be an area in which economic and non-economic consideration achieve a unique interplay, likely to carry the seed for more socially beneficial endeavors. So I think we really need the contribution of a economy community to shape citizen science in a more meaningful way. And finally, why shouldn't we apply the citizen science approach to the economy? Let's set up completely new economic project, including citizens from the very beginning. What are the research questions in the economy citizens would like to investigate? Also, maybe defining new development models, more just and connected with the sustainable development goals that are really something that we should reach in a very short time. Both in local, this may be easier to do, but also national and global level. So really, this is a call to the community of economists to join the citizen science movement and be part of this, of this joint enterprise. I found one recent project, HOPE, that is very interesting, and it is really dedicated to circular economy. It supports 8 European cities and regions in developing large-scale urban circular bioeconomy initiatives. So I think this is something that we can connect with and start thinking on, connecting citizen science and the economy, and can inspire other new projects in this field. So I really invite you to think about the connection between the economy and citizen science, and explore this new project, and maybe apply for the new European call, and to bring together economy and citizen science. So I think it would be really very, very promising and very interesting.
I feel like people could have new ideas right now. It's like a little bit of brainstorming here. Just one question though, because another aspect that concerns citizen science and economy is using volunteers as free labor. Do you have any thoughts on that?
This is very interesting, because actually citizen science is based on volunteering work. People who participate in citizen science project, I don't mean the scientists, the professional scientists who are paid by their institution and organizations, but the external people, the non-scientist people, participate at the voluntary base. Okay? Is it correct? This is again an open issue, because they provide valuable help with ideas, data collection, data analysis. Of course, they get something back because they learn something. They have a rewarding human and social experiences. Many projects are focused on education, and in general, they really help to build a community around scientific research. Everything is true. Yet many studies show still a very uneven participation in citizen science, like in every other field of society. This means that, again, the same people who can afford or feel up to going to museums, exhibitions, concerts, theater, etc., can also afford or feel up to doing citizen science. This is because they have the time, the money, and the education to do so. Also, they feel, in a way, up to it. They feel part of this process. They feel belonging to it in some way, okay? This part of the population is a tiny fraction of the entire world population, of the entire Western world population, and even a tiniest fraction of the poor countries' population, or of the countries who are at war or face violence, drought, scarcity, and they really have to fight for their life. In these days, I can't avoid thinking about Gaza. And could you even imagine the Gaza people taking part in a citizen science project? It's even mentioning it sounds cruel and absurd. So inclusive, open to everybody, but who are these everybody is again something complex. And regarding citizen science in this conflict and complex areas, EXA has just opened a new working group, exactly trying to understand how citizen science can be applied in this terrible situation. So you can also try to join us and join our working groups, in particular this new one, looking for new people and new contribution and new ideas, and contribute to make citizen science more meaningful. And this would be really, really very interesting. Requires a lot of reflection, ethical thinking, and empathy. And as for all complex and controversial issues, there is no unique and easy solution. And this is something that we have to get through it. You have to tackle and understand that complexity is part of our world and we have to deal with it. Yeah.
Thank you. So a question, if I wanted to start a citizen science project tomorrow, because we were talking about inclusivity and okay, we are in a very privileged position right now, how would I actually start in this practice?
First of all, you have to think you are not alone. The community is very wide and very helpful, and it is a thriving community. So if I were to start the citizen science project tomorrow, first things I suggest to beginning with EXA. Why don't you join the European Citizen Science Association? It is the home of citizen science in Europe. Of course, if you are based in Europe, but there are citizen science associations in all continents and in many countries. So join us. You will find a supporting community who work on citizen science at various levels and in various fields. And so the good news is that you don't have to figure out all this alone, but there is someone who can help you. You find many resources, community practice, and even training programs to help you to set up a new project. You can look on our website. We have also FAQs page to answer all your questions. And also we have the famous 10 principles of citizen science that guides you through the basic definition of what citizen science can be, because there may be many different interpretations. Another very important source of information, resources, and training is the platform EU3citizen.science. I know this is a terrible name, not easy to remember, but we are working on it to change it and make it easier to understand. And the platform is some kind of safe harbor for all explorers in this very vast and complex ocean of citizen science. And it is developed within the ECS project. And we are really offering a lot to the entire community for free. It's open to everybody, not only to as a passive users, but also as contributors. You can really contribute with your ideas, your projects, your event, your initiatives, your organizations, and so on. We are also developing a European Academy of Citizen Science, because we know that training is crucial to develop this important field. So keep following us, and because there are important novelties in you.
Thank you so much for this answer. So the citizen science community is very active all over the world, and then there must be some important events during this year. One very important one I have in my mind already. Can you mention it and let's make it official? Yes.
Let's mention it. Our conference, EXA is organized a conference every second year, and I really look forward to the next conference that will be held in Oulu in the northern of Finland. So it is really an unusual place that is offering a lot of different experiences, not only academic experience, but it's really a very important place because the Sami communities will contribute to the conference. We will have an unusual event, yoga in the snow, sauna in the evening, and possibly the Northern Light. So, and Oulu will be also the European capital city of culture in 2026. So it will be really a wonderful experience where everybody is invited. That will be concluded with a very important and big citizen science festival where all the population in Oulu, so schools, families, everybody will be invited, and will be held in the Science Museum and in the Art Museum in Oulu. So it is really, we are trying to offer a very open experience to all the entire community of citizen scientists who can meet there, celebrate citizen science, exchange experiences, knowledge, and ideas, and at the same time meet the citizens, okay, meet the people, and try to contaminate the two communities that often are too separate and often a really unique experience to everybody. So the conference is still open for submission. We are just now shaping the structure with the main topics and the main session, panels, roundtable discussions, and workshop. And at the end of June, we will open the submission to all contributions. And the program will be shaped at the end of the year, and we will all expect you in March, from the 3rd of March to the 6th of March in Oulu, for sharing with us this wonderful experience and making citizen science even more relevant and important for everybody.
I think you got some of the people here with yoga in the snow and floating saunas. This sounds actually amazing. Nothing like regular conferences. Okay, finally, my last question, and thank you so much for all your answers. This is going to be a little private one. What keeps you passionate about citizen science after all these years? What continues to inspire you in all this field?
I'm always been committed to justice, let's say so, to have a more just society and to make a large society part of advantages that we enjoy. People who work in science and work in education and work in this beautiful world with such beautiful teams and such beautiful perspective. So this is what citizen science really offer me, the potential of being more inclusive and the potential to share these benefits of science with a very large fraction of a society. This is very important to me.
Thank you so much. And thank you so much for this fascinating conversation. You've opened my eyes to the incredible world of, let's call it, citizen science. And I'm sure our listeners feel the same way. To our listeners, if you enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe, leave a review, and share with your friends who might be interested in getting involved in citizen science, RISE Project, EXA, and ECS. We are all about fostering inclusive and impactful research. And thank you so much for joining us today, and have a great day.